Hi BookTube, Sarah here and welcome to my channel. Today I am coming to you with my weekly reads for January the 10th through the 16th. This is week number 2 in 2021. Very exciting. This was a 4-book reading week for me. The week started out strong. I had a really great book at the beginning. Then it kind of dipped down a little bit and then I ended off with a comfort read. So all is good. But if you guys are interested, I have timestamps in the description box below, so you can go ahead and jump around in this video if you want to just hear me talk about a specific book or just jump right into anything else. Feel free to go ahead and do that. So of course I'm going to share with you the 4 books that I finished this week. I'm going to share with you what I am currently reading. I do have a little bit of a haul. It is both a book haul and a knitting haul, sort of, kinda. I'll explain when I get there. And of course, I'm going to show you guys very quickly my knitting at the end. There's not really much to show you, not a lot of progress this week. And of course, knitting and chatty bits, that'll be at the end. So let's get into the books that I finished this week. So the first book that I finished was The Lemon Sisters by Jill Shalvis. I gave this book 4.5 stars. This is book 3 in the Wildstone series, and I listened to it on audio, and it was narrated by Erin Mallon. So this one is about 2 sisters by the name of Brooke and Mindy. And they're not really super close. They do not talk a lot. Brooke lives in LA and Mindy lives back at home in Wildstone, which is about Central California. And, one day Mindy just shows up at her house and she's got 3 kids. And she's like having a nervous breakdown. She thinks her husband is cheating on her. The kids are driving her crazy, yada, yada, yada. So Brooke agrees to take the kids back to Wildstone to give Mindy a bit of a break. And so Brooke ends up back in Wildstone. She hasn't been back in a long, long time and runs into their next door neighbor who was her old flame. So this is a second chance romance. This book is billed as a women's fiction, but as per true Jill Shalvis style, it does have some spicy bits, which I really enjoyed. So yeah, this story is about like each of the sisters. Like it's Brooke with her relationship with Garrett, the next door neighbor, and former boyfriend, and Mindy trying to find her way back with her husband and deal with her kids and kind of her life and stuff. OCD is discussed a lot in this book. Brooke has OCD, Mindy's daughter has OCD, and to be completely honest, Mindy definitely is dealing with something because she needs to be in control of all the things. Like she has a huge binder that of stuff the kids can eat, of bedtimes and how to handle them. And, pretty much her day is mapped out point by point by point from start to finish. So clearly there's something going on there as well. But this book was, I really, really liked it. The whole time I'm listening to it, I'm like, yep, this is definitely a 4-star. And then without giving away too many spoilers, the epilogue happened and it made me emotional because I don't want to say it's infertility, but it's infertility because of a prior medical condition. So one of the characters cannot have a baby because of something that happened medically. And whatever happens in the epilogue, without me giving it away, was just the most perfect way of ending it. It wasn't the, oh my gosh, I can't get pregnant, but look, I'm pregnant, which you often do see in romance, which drives me bonkers because it's just not realistic. But this was just fantastic and it made me emotional, and immediately as soon as I read it, I'm like, yep, this is a 4.5 star read for me. So yeah, I highly recommend not only this book but this whole series. Now do keep in mind you do not have to read these in order. The Wildstone series, you can jump around. They all just happen to take place in the same small town. So yeah, this one was highly, highly enjoyable. The next one that I finished was the dud of the week, was The Duke Is Mine by Eloisa James. This one I ended up giving 3 stars to, and it is book 3 in the fairy tale series. So I think also this one was suffering a bit from the fact that I had high expectations for it. I love the first 2 books in this series, A Kiss at Midnight and When Beauty Tamed the Beast, I think is the second book. And this one is a retelling kind of A Princess and the Pea, The Princess and the Pea. So it's about this girl by the name of Olivia, and she has a twin sister named Georgina, and the 2 of them have kind of been groomed since birth to be the wife of a duke. Now, it's only Olivia who's actually supposed to marry the duke. Her father and this duke's father were friends at Oxford or Cambridge or wherever they went to school. And when they were young boys, they're like, oh, when we get older and we get married, my son who's gonna be a duke is gonna marry your oldest daughter. So Olivia and Georgina, of course, are twins, but Olivia's just ever so slightly older. She has a bit of an attitude. She's got a potty mouth. She doesn't like to conform necessarily to her training and her upbringing, whereas Georgina is like the perfect duke's wife. Like, she's, quiet and does, like all the duke kind of things that would need to be done. So anyway, the duke's name is Rupert, and he's a few years younger than Olivia. And here's where my big issue came in with this book, and my heart was broken for Rupert because he clearly had a medical issue. At the very beginning of the book, they talk about how he's kind of dim-witted and kind of slow, and I think his father or some other character refers to him actually as stupid, and I just thought, okay, that's not really nice, but, it is what it is. And then you find out very early on in the book that the poor boy was actually deprived of oxygen at birth, so he does clearly have some sort of a mental issue. And I didn't like that. I did not like the fact that, now, I understand that back then things were different than they are now. This was, of course, set in Regency times. But it doesn't excuse that fact because this is being written for a modern audience. And I just didn't like it. Like, she was trying to do it so that, Olivia didn't really want to marry him and then ends up falling for this other duke. So that's pretty much the premise of the story. I didn't love it for that reason. I also really didn't like Olivia. I thought she was very stuck up. She very much felt like a mean girl to me, and I just had a hard time liking her. Also, this story is really big on insta-love. Like, it's within 2 days, or like the hour that they meet each other, he's like falling all over himself for how beautiful she is, which is fine, but that's not love. That's lust at first sight, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah. The writing on it was good. Eloisa James is a fantastic writer. And some of the secondary characters I like. Like, I loved the sister, and I loved how clever this was in some aspects in the retelling of a fairy tale. But I wasn't there for how mean the characters were to Rupert, and just how mean or how much I didn't like Olivia in general. So it is what it is. The next book that I finished was Mine Till Midnight by Lisa Kleypas. This one I gave 3.5 stars to. It is the first book in the Hathaway series. I did listen to this one on audio as well, and it was narrated by Rosalind Landor, who I absolutely love. This one is a darling within the historical romance community. I'm not sure why. I'll be completely honest. I found myself at times, like when I was listening to this, like drifting. Like, I just don't care. I feel that this book suffered a lot from first book in a series syndrome, where you are being introduced to a ton of characters and a ton of different potential plot points. I wanted it to focus on Amelia and Cam were our main couple, and it focused a lot on everybody else, and all the family drama that was kind of going on. Again, it got 3.5 stars because I wasn't offended by it in any way. I wasn't completely invested in it, let's put it that way. But the writing, of course, on it was really great. Lisa Kleypas really steps it up a notch in terms of spiciness for her historicals. And, it's okay. It's fine. Those are the parts where I was kind of starting to like, yeah, we've done this already. They've done this 8 times now. I don't need to hear about it every single time. So it became a little bit much, if you will. And I did like some of the secondary plot lines that were being developed with some of the other characters. I do have the second book in this series for my Kindle, so I will probably eventually at some point, not anytime in the near future, jump into book number 2 and see, my thoughts on it. Again, sometimes first books in a series just fall flat because the author is trying to cram so much in to introduce you into this world that it ends up making the story itself fall flat. And that was how I felt personally. And the last book that I finished this week was my comfort read of the week, and that was Dawn's Big Date by N.M. Martin. I gave this one 3.5 stars. It's book number 50 in the Babysitter's Club series. So this one was great. I needed this one on Friday and Saturday because Friday was an extremely difficult emotional day for me. It was the 1-year anniversary of losing Dad, so I just needed comfort. And I am trying to reread my way through the Babysitters Club. It's not like I just picked this one up on a whim. This is one of the ones that I had picked. My goal is I'd like to get through one of these a week because I pick 4 of them every month. But we shall see. No, I'm not trying to push myself too much. So in this one, Dawn is about to meet a pen pal that she has, which is actually Marianne's boyfriend's cousin named Louis. And he's coming up from Louisville. And she thinks that because no boys in school like her, she needs to change who she is. So she starts getting this like cool kid attitude, or what she thinks is a cool kid attitude. She starts changing the way she dresses and all these things, and, you know, in order to impress Louis. And of course he comes up and it's like not the girl that he's been talking to, like through letters, through like this pen pal relationship that they've had. And of course at the very end, you know, spoiler alert, Dawn confesses, I did this to get you to like me. And he's like, but I like the old you, and everything works out. There is a great, what I really like about the Babysitters Club is that there's also this great B plot that usually runs throughout all the books. That kind of mirrors in a way what's happening in the main plot. And in this one, it's about a young boy who they babysit for named Norman Hill. And he is extremely overweight, and his parents are horrible people because they fat shame him, and, you know, it's just, but yet, like, they're keep screaming at him to lose weight and not to eat junk, but yet they buy junk and have it in the house. Well, like, that's not fair. You know, I understand, like, if you're trying to help him, but help him help himself kind of an idea, right? So anyway, it kind of mirrored the main story by the fact that, you know, neither him nor Dawn thought that anybody liked them for who they were. And it turns out, of course, that people did like him for who he was. And he also had to love himself, which was the same with Dawn. She had to, you know, love herself before. It's that whole adage. We've heard it before. And I mean, it's like, you know, they're always cute with a good message, and it was just a lot of fun to read. So yeah, so that is everything that I read this week, you guys. So what am I currently reading? So I have not started it yet. I'm going to start it later today on audio. Is Key Lime Pie Murder by Joanne Fluke. This is book, I think, 7 or 8 in the Hannah Swenson Cozy Mystery series. I am looking forward to it. I am, like I said, listening to it on audio. I cannot wait. Got it from the library. And last night I just started, like I just got read the prologue. Looking for a Cowboy by Donna Grant, which is I think book 5 in the Heart of Texas series. And I've not read this series before. I've not read this author before. So I'm very, very excited. And it opened up. I'm already like, I need to know what's happening. Because the prologue happens 10 years earlier. So I didn't read what this book was about when I picked it up. I generally don't really. And it starts out in this small town with this woman who is a police officer. And her twin sister, I think they're identical, is like 8 months pregnant. So all day long in the prologue, like the police officer sister, Marley, has had this like gut feeling that something is wrong. So she comes home from work to see her, you know, her and her sister live together. The sister didn't say who the baby's father was or anything at all like that. She's just going to raise it as a single mom with the help of her sister. And she comes home to see her sister and no one's home. So she immediately starts panicking. She calls the police station to find out that there has been an incident. And her sister was murdered earlier that day. And whoever murdered her stole the baby out of her, like took the baby. And that's pretty much where the prologue ended. And I'm like, I'm invested now. I need to know what's going to happen. So yeah, it's going to be one that deals with obviously some very difficult topics. It's not, from looking at the cover, it's not just your standard cowboy contemporary romance. There is definitely some meat to this story, and I am here for it. And I will definitely share with you guys my thoughts on it next week. So yeah, so that is pretty much it for what I've been reading. Excuse me, tea. Not coffee yet, just tea, you guys. So last week I received a package in the mail, and I watch a podcast called North Star Knits, I think it is. I'll leave it linked in the description box below. Well, I entered back in the summertime. I had entered a contest that she was doing, and I won. I guess there was another winner, but that other winner never claimed their prize. And then she picked my name, so I won. So I won some yarn, some needles, and a book, you guys. I won a book because the question was, like, she's a reader as well, and she she was looking for more books to add to her TBR. She's like, recommend me a book. And then if you recommended her a book, you were entered in the contest. So I will share with you guys the knitting part of it first. She made some stitch markers. Hold on, they're over here. She had them in this little bag, and they are super, super cute. So let me show them to you. It's like she made these. Isn't that pretty? And some of them are lobster clasp, like that. And other ones, do I have one? And other ones are just circles that you can just hang off your needles. So yeah, so she made me a whole bunch of those. They're all in here. And then she sent me a skein of yarn, which is always, always welcome. I think this is going to be my next pair of socks. I have never, ever used this sock yarn before. It's an independent dyer. It's called Knitted Wit sock. And this is, the colorway is called Paxi. And it's at 80% superwash, 20% nylon, which is great for socks. But look at that yarn, you guys. Is that not awesome? Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And then she sent me also a pair of needles. Now, I have had a pair of these before, and I will be honest and say I struggled with these just a little bit. But I kind of want to try them again now. I gave my original pair to a friend, but I want to try them again. So that's the knitting needles, you guys. These are for socks. These are completely meant for socks. They're a 9-inch. So if I show you guys my socks, you would just put them like, and just knit in a round and around and around and around. And my fingers cramped the first time I used these, but I thought I'd practice a bit more on them and see what I think. Because I know a lot of people, if they love them, they love them. So yeah, I will see, and I'll report back. You know, maybe I'll try it on this yarn. We shall see. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So yeah, these are Chaigu, which are really, really fantastic needles. For those of you who are getting new into knitting, anything with the red cord is just fantastic. They are so great to manipulate, and the needle tips themselves are really fantastic. There's just a great little bit of sharpness to them to really be able to pick up the yarn, and they're fantastic. Honestly, I love Chaigu needles. They're one of my favorites. And then I got a book. So the way she does it, and I think this is awesome, and as somebody who has a personal library and who loves to own a lot of books, I don't think I could do this myself, but when she reads a book, she gives them away. She either donates them or takes them to a little free library. So she just sent me one that she had just finished that she really liked. Now, it's a fantasy. You guys know I'm not a fantasy reader, but this one sounds really, really good. And I've never heard of this before. So it's called The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. And there's the cover. And it says here, I'm just going to read just a little back bit here for you. Irene is a professional spy for the Mysterious Library, a shadowy organization that collects important works of fiction from all the different realities. Most recently, she and her assistant, Kaya, have been sent to an alternative London. Their mission: retrieve a particularly dangerous book. The problem, by the time they arrive, it's already been stolen. So this sounds really good because it's a book about books, and I'm into it. I'm interested. So I will definitely be reading this one. So I'm really excited. So that's kind of a nice surprise. And yeah, so the last little bit here, of course, is my knitting. I didn't get any work done on the shawl really this week, or nothing to show you guys. But I did get some knit on the sock. Let me see here, bear with. Oops, I'm all twisted up around the little rubber ducky. So let me see. So there's where I was last week, and here's what I got done. I got the heel put in, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, so these are knitting up. I'm hoping in the next few weeks to have this first sock done, and then I can start working on sock number 2. But there's the yarn. So yeah, very, very happy with that. And the yarn, of course, is by Dancing Dog Dye Works. No longer makes yarn, unfortunately, and the pattern is called, I modified a mini sock pattern, but the pattern is called Christmas Brownies by Yarn Cafe Creations. It was part of her 24 days of sock advent that she did in 2020. So it just came out like a month and a bit ago. So yeah, I will leave it linked below in case you guys are curious. But like, I modified the mini sock pattern to make a big pair of socks. And then the only other thing that I got work on this week was my sweater. And this is Ease by Alicia Plummer. I finally got the, whoops, and I'm losing the yarn. I finally got the sleeves put on hold, and I'm super, super excited about that. This is the part where it's a little bit frustrating. because of these being on hold until you get a little bit further down. It's a bit of a pain because the yarn tends to get twisted in and amongst these. Now, when you put the sleeves on hold, you could also do it with just a scrap piece of yarn, which would make it easier to continue knitting. But for me, I hate picking up stitches, so this is a lot easier. I can just attach the needles to these and then knit the arms or the sleeves or whatever. So there we go. Now you can see that this is, you know, what it's going to look like, right? It's a little bit bunched up on the needles. It's going to be bigger, of course. But yeah, I'm really, really liking it so far. This yarn is just lovely. I'm not sure what it is. I'm pretty sure it's a yarn from Michael's Arts and Crafts. And yeah, I'm really, really loving it. So the stitch marker is where I was last week. So that is what I have gotten done. And now it should go pretty quickly because the sleeves are on hold, and it usually does when that is the case. So yeah, so that's about it. Chatty bits at the end here. So I mentioned last week that I would be only going into the office on Mondays and Wednesdays. So on Monday I went, was it just this week? Or was it last week? Time means nothing to me anymore. That I was in the office. It might have been last week. I don't remember. Anyway, I am guaranteed now working from home. Yes, it was the week before. So I am guaranteed now working from home for the next at least 28 days. Originally, the plan had been until the 25th of January, but the Ontario government put in a 28-day stay-at-home order. So if you are an essential worker, which I am, what I do for a living is considered to be an essential service. And I have the ability to work from home. I am to work from home. So yeah, so it's been pretty good. This week, what else did I have to do this week? I had a dentist appointment on, did I have my dentist appointment? Thursday. Oh yeah, because last week, okay, so I haven't been at the office in almost 2 weeks because it was last week that the car broke down on Tuesday. Because or Monday night coming home from work, and then I haven't been back to the office since. Not because of the car, just because of the stay-at-home thing. So yeah, so Thursday I had to go to the dentist, which was not fun. I had to get 2 fillings done. It's because it's been so stressful over the last year or so. I've been like clenching and grinding my teeth, and I'm bad for it. So I'm being fitted with a mouth guard as well. Yay! But I did have to get 2 cavities of sorts filled. 2 of my teeth kind of chipped, and both of them were teeth that had been filled when I was a kid. So it's not like it was a new cavity, it was like a broken off tooth. So that was unpleasant. For the rest of Thursday I was in a lot of, like, not a lot of pain, but I was in quite a bit of pain. And because it's been a while since I've actually had like major quote unquote dental work done. But thank goodness for benefits at work. So that was good. But yeah, but other than that, it's just been quiet. Not really, actually. Work's been busy. It's been steady. Work has not been, but Friday was bananas. I mean, absolutely bananas. I don't know. Usually Fridays, it's like quiet. But this Friday, for some reason, everybody was calling and booking appointments, which is fantastic because, you know, we could use everybody could use the business kind of an idea. But oh my goodness. It was bananas, absolutely crazy. So yeah, it was a busy Friday, which was kind of nice. Again, like I said, because it was the 1 year, and it was kind of nice to not just be sitting here dwelling on it, that I was busy. So that's always a good thing. But anyway, guys, I am rambling on. This is a bit shorter than normal. I'm just looking here about 25 minutes. So I do hope that you guys enjoyed it. So videos coming up this week. On Tuesday, I am going to be having my Harlequin anticipated reads. So sorry for the lack of videos last week. I think I only got 1 extra one up. And then my pre-orders for February, I'm going to be sharing those with you on Thursday. Now, here's a question for you guys. Right now, because I am going to be home, and I'm actually gaining like an hour every day because I'm not having to drive into the office. So I don't start work till 11 in the morning, and usually I would try and leave the house just before 10 because I don't like to be late in case there's traffic. Pardon me. But since I don't have to leave just before 10, I've got like from 10 to 11 with, I have to commute from the downstairs to the upstairs. It's not that far. So I have time. So I'm in the process of completely redoing my bookshelves and my Goodreads. So essentially I am like going through my Goodreads or going through my books and then matching them up to what I have on Goodreads because I know they don't mesh with each other. So I'm trying to clean everything up. Now, because of that, I'm starting with my Harlequin shelves again. Because I really wasn't doing this properly the first time when I was reorganizing those shelves. So there is not going to be any bookshelves tours for the next little while. I'm hoping to get both Harlequin shelves done by the time the stay-at-home order is lifted, which they're saying 28 days, but I have a feeling it's going to be longer. I don't know. We shall see. Numbers still really aren't going down yet, but it's only been like a week or so. I mean, who knows what's going to happen. So, because the last one lasted from March until June, so we shall see. But I am going to be redoing those. So it's going to be a while before I can get back to doing those bookshelf tours again. So in the interim, I can do a Friday video or not. I'm good either way. I am happy to do either. Because I'm not going to be doing bookshelf tours, are you guys interested in seeing a Friday reads? I mean, really, I'd be sharing the books with you guys like on Sunday. But if you're interested in me just doing a quick little, hey, this is what I'm reading and this is what I'm doing this weekend, a little 5-minute video, I'm happy to do that. Or just say, forget it, don't do anything on Fridays. You know, I'm cool with that too. Or if there's anything that you guys would like to see, you know, I mean, for sure I'm gonna work on getting my Tuesday and Thursday videos up. But I mean, to shoot something very quick on a Friday morning would be super, super easy. So just let me know, you guys. Yeah, and until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.